Ooh, can we get Travis Hunter and Ashton GNT? Ooh, and Abdul Carter? Uh, Probably not. Hi, folks, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the D.Bell Sports Podcast. I'm your host, D.Bell, and today we're going to be talking about what happens next for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, obviously, we're not doing too well in our season. Our head coach might get fired. So, I have a few different scenarios, three different scenarios on what could happen for the coming year. Best case scenario. Oh boy. Owner Jerry Jones steps aside as president and general manager. And who will be our next president? Only one name comes to mind, and that's Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman, a three-time Super Bowl winning quarterback, of course. Great face for the franchise. For the past 24 years, he has been a color commentator on Fox and Monday Night Football. He is a board member with the National Football Foundation, a nonprofit. He owns several car dealerships, and he once owned a NASCAR team with Roger Staubach. He has his own beer brand, which he launched 2 years ago, and he doesn't have a rap sheet like other Cowboys players from that era. Let's just be honest. I mean, he dated a cheerleader back in the day. He dated Lori Morgan, country music singer, but he's been married a couple times. I mean, he's great. He's a good face for the franchise, you know. He's a respectable member of the Cowboys 90s teams. And, nothing really, jumps at me like, oh, he did this, he did that. And he's not a good face for it, Just a couple, he's good. I think he'd be great. New GM, Will McClay. Will McClay is the current VP of Player Personnel. He's highly respected. He has had interest from other teams to be a possible GM, most notably the Chargers and Commanders earlier this year, but he didn't even interview with them. He said he wanted to stay a Dallas Cowboy. He has many of the same responsibilities as the GM anyway. He's been with the Cowboys also since 2003, starting out as a scout. He's had various roles with the organization also, such as pro scouting coordinator and director of football research. So he would be the natural choice to take over as general manager. New head coach. My top pick is everyone's top pick. Of course, Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson has been the offensive coordinator for the Lions for the past 2 years. He's been helping Jared Goff become one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league. And this could be a great hire. But, of course, you never know. Big question mark. And Brian Daboll is credited with turning around Josh Allen. He was great. But he went to a worse team with a not as good quarterback and the Giants, and that hasn't really worked out too well. So you never know. It's all there's so many different factors. Jesse Minter is another head coaching prospect. He's the defensive coordinator for the Chargers, and the Chargers defense has really turned around this year. They're ranked number 1 in terms of points allowed per game. And they just beat the Bengals and are now 7-3. So I think their defense has a lot to do with that. Anthony Weaver. He's the current defensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins. And the Dolphins have allowed third down conversions only 23.8% of the time. That's pretty good. And they rank third in opponents' passer ratings. So the Dolphins' defense is definitely improved. It's pretty good, too. These are all very interesting candidates. Since they turned around their teams so quickly and are helping them not only to lead them to success, but immediate success, and that's exactly what we'll need going into next year. New offensive coordinator. I'm gonna say Kellen Moore. Now, I'm sure there's some good candidates out there for OC, and as I discover them, I can definitely update this list. But right now, I'm fine bringing him back. He was our quarterbacks coach and then our offensive coordinator for 4 years before joining the Chargers last year and the Eagles this year. In 2021, Cowboys ranked 3rd in scoring. 2022 is ranked 12th. In terms of defense, I mean, yeah, I'm fine with it, Bring him back. He has more experience now, and, he's with the Eagles this year, so that might help us even more. New defensive coordinator. Two candidates spring to mind. One is Robert Saleh, great candidate, DC for the 49ers from 2017 to 2020. After being fired as head coach for the Jets, he's now helping the Packers as an offensive analyst. He watches tapes of each team's defense. Apparently he's doing a good job. He's helping out. So a year doing that, sure, come on board, help us improve our defense. It was really good under Dan Quinn, but now it's not as good under Mike Zimmer. Of course, we've had some injuries, but if he's not getting the job done, people are coming back from injury now. So maybe we just needed someone brand new again. Another candidate, Al Harris. Al Harris has been our defensive backs coach since 2020, and he's an assistant head coach this year. There's a possibility that Dan Quinn could have hired him as a defensive coordinator for Washington, but Dan Quinn ultimately went with Joe Witt, also with the Cowboys. Still, players love Al Harris. He's done a stellar job with the defensive backs, and Trevon Diggs even publicly endorsed him to be the defensive coordinator after Dan Quinn left. So they definitely respect him and love him, and he's been doing a good job in coaching. Now for the draft. We could, I know, draft a new quarterback and start all over. I know. Dak has not always been the problem, but if we wanted to do that, we could get Shedeur Sanders and then move up and get Travis Hunter. We could do that. Heck, they know each other. They've been coached really well. They're on the same team. They're jiving. Could be like a Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase situation. They're really good together. Could get them both. You never know. So, I don't know. That could be something we could consider. But we're paying Dak a lot of money. And, if we don't do that, we'll have to get more weapons for Dak and stuff. But I don't know. If we're going to burn it all down, then let's burn it all down. Best case scenario, all this stuff happens, and then suddenly we're really good. So, you never know. Second best case scenario, okay, Jerry Jones stays as president GM. New head coach, Eric Bieniemy. He's been a hot coaching candidate for a while. 5 years as Chiefs offensive coordinator. He was with the Commanders last year. This year, he's the offensive coordinator and assistant head coach for UCLA. So he went back to college. He didn't get a head coaching gig. So he just went, just going back to college, going to UCLA. 55 years old, so not as young as other head coaching prospects, who are in their 30s and 40s. But he is offensive minded and has experience with an elite organization, aka the Chiefs. So might not be the worst thing. Offensive coordinator. I don't know. I put Brian Schottenheimer stays. I have nothing against him. I'm not sure what he brings, honestly. And, he doesn't call plays, so I'm not quite sure what he does. But, second best case scenario, if we have a new head coach and DC, maybe it won't be so bad if we keep him around. So that's what I have for that. New DC, second best case scenario, Al Harris. As stated above, players love him, and he's due for a promotion. Eric Bieniemy and Al Harris might not be too bad. With Brian Schottenheimer, yeah. Those would be 2 out of 3 coordinators and head coaches. The 2 out of 3 new positions, so it might not be so bad. Draft. We could realistically get Travis Hunter. Get him, or a really good defensive end like Micah Parsons wants. He said he wanted Abdul Carter, or an offensive tackle like Kelvin Banks, who I've seen play. Go Longhorns. If we get Travis Hunter, we'll have a legit number 2 wide receiver, which we need. Brandon Cooks he's been hurt. He's not working out. He's a little older. Travis Hunter would solve that problem, hands down, no problem. Might still have O-line problems. Zach Martin might retire in June. He said it's definitely in the realm of possibilities. And as of right now, it's November 20th. It's 11:15 p.m. He just turned 34 today, so happy birthday to Zach. I understand why he might retire. I hope you don't, but Offensive lineman 34 has been playing for a long time. So I get it. But we'll still need a running back, of course, a really good one. He doesn't solve all our problems, but there are other draft picks, so you never know. I just wish we didn't waste a 4th-round pick on Jonathan Mingo. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Worst case scenario, head coach gets someone like Doug Peterson, a Super Bowl winning coach, but who was fired from the Eagles and might not have a job with the Jaguars soon. Because they're not looking too good. I'm not sure what he brings to the table right now. I'm just not sure. Matt Eberflus, not well respected in Chicago right now. Definitely on the chopping block. Caleb Williams looked good early on. He didn't look as good. Then he looked better. Now you don't know. You don't know. Bill Belichick. I don't know about this one. Might want to keep coaching, but definitely set in his ways. Not sure how long we'd have him as a coach. We need someone long term. So I don't know. Offensive coordinator, keep the same guy, Braden Schottenheimer, or they'll bring in their own guy maybe. But again, nothing against Schottenheimer. Just doing the same thing might not be the best thing, overall. So get the same people. Yeah. Defensive coordinator, Mike Zimmer stays. Defense is the same or gets worse. Yeah. Drafts, no offensive tackle, no running back in the first round, no defensive end in the first few rounds. Oh gosh. We lose more players and don't add much in free agency, or we add some running backs from another team that are old or burned out. We added Royce Freeman. He's not doing much. I mean, we got rid of him, and now he's with another team entirely. Dalvin Cook, we elevated him a couple times, but he's not doing too much. So, I don't know. I had high hopes for him, but I don't know. What might actually happen? So, here's what might actually happen. Jerry Jones stays on as president and GM. Okay. New head coach. Mike Zimmer, realistically, yeah, he's worked with Jerry Jones before. He's worked with the Cowboys before. He's our current defensive coordinator. Someone with a lot of experience who Jerry Jones can manage very carefully because he likes to be over everything, likes to be controlling. He likes to control people. He's someone who won't stray too far, Kellen Moore as the new head coach. Also in my best case scenario for getting him back as OC, but head coach is a different animal. If Jerry Jones is in charge, likely to be the case. He might want to bring him in, saying he's a younger offensive mind, make the fans feel good, like, hey, we're bringing back Kellen Moore. This is kind of what we were thinking long term anyway. But, I mean, he could even call the plays as he's used to doing, but he could also be someone just under Jerry Jones' thumb. He won't do very much or stray too far, or I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, the type of people that Jerry Jones wants nowadays. He doesn't hire the Jimmy Johnsons anymore. Brian Schottenheimer's head coach. I don't know if this is very realistic. Been our offensive coordinator this year, but we give him a shot. He's an unknown though, and I don't think Jerry Jones would really go for that. So I'm not really sure. Offensive coordinator, yeah, same guy. I mean, what could realistically happen? Schottenheimer could just stay the OC. DC, Mike Zimmer stays on, or get someone like older with experience, someone like a Joe Barry type. If Zimmer's promoted, draft defensive end first round be cool. Running back second round might not be as good as the first round running backs, but might be effective maybe. We don't move up because we don't really move up that much. We add a few pieces in free agency maybe. I don't know. Jonathan Mingo and Trey Lance are not working out as our 4th round picks. We keep trading 4th round draft picks for these players, and I'm kind of hesitant to see what we would do in trades now. But to recap, let's see. Best case scenario, Jerry Jones steps aside as president and GM. Troy Aikman's our new president. Will McClay is our new general manager. And our new head coach is Ben Johnson. Our OC is Kellen Moore again. Our defensive coordinator is Robert Saleh or Al Harris. In the draft, we burn down and start all over. Second best case scenario. New head coach Eric Bieniemy, offense coordinator Brian Schottenheimer, new DC Al Harris. In the draft, we get Travis Hunter. Worst case scenario, a head coach like Doug Peterson. OC is the same, DC is the same. In the draft, we just don't do very much, and we don't get too many players in free agency. What might actually happen, Jerry Jones stays on, of course, and new head coach is Mike Zimmer. Offense coordinator, same guy. Defense coordinator, Mike Zimmer, Joe Barry. In the draft, we just miss on the draft picks. So that's what I have for what we could do. A couple scenarios. A few of these are obviously a little unrealistic, and I definitely get that. But hey, you never know. We're going into week 12, so it's a little crazy to be thinking about this so early. Usually I make a video about this in the off season, but here we are. So yeah, but thanks so much for watching and listening to me. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much to my Patreon subscribers. And I don't know, you guys are the best. Thank you so much. And of course, go Cowboys.